Okay, welcome back. In the last video I said I was done with my transactions table, and I kind of fibbed to you. I am going to add in a few things. It's going to be your computer you're looking at. Again, you can research in here, but I do think it's going to make more sense to add in some of these reference columns. Now, these are the reference columns that we cleaned up. We put some formulas in there, as in the GL research video series. We cleaned them up. It came over to here because I made a copy of it and relinked my data from my daily audit data instead of my one fiscal year only GL data, which just showed you the query in the notepad. So what I'm going to do is add reference 4 and reference 5. If you'd like to add reference 1, there is definitely value there. What happens is this, and so again, you'll be doing this, you'll want to make that decision. There's good information, but what happens is the real estate starts to fill up. If you feel that it's worthwhile to have all of that in there, you can. One way to condense this a bit, because reference 1 we're talking about, big old business names or something like that. If you unselect, and I'm going to go ahead and find one that seems real long, like U.S. Bank Association or something. If you want to, in a pivot table, you can come back in here and just title this U.S. Bank. Oops. Hit enter, and for everything that's identical, it's gonna make that smaller. So if I were to come back into here, maybe let's see if that was the longest one. Nope, it didn't. So I would have to come in and find the rest of these to condense that. But for the purposes of this video, I will unselect this, scroll over, right click, and hide field list, and it looks like it's in my screen. I can see it. Again, if you'd like to go through that procedure and kind of do that, there may be one person or so doing the daily audit. Once they get comfortable, they can do it like they want. So how do we get this into a daily audit type of format, automating it, making your life easier? So what I want to do is highlight just a few. Don't have to be a lot. So I'm going to Control C, go to my daily audit tab, and then I'm going to Control V or paste. Highlight these. Alright. And I will add one thing, comments. I want my validation comments in here. Kind of expand that out. Alright. And then Control T, or insert table. I want this to be a dynamic table. So, well, that doesn't look too good, does it? You can format this however you'd like. I'll just make these black. It's because of the formatting that came in from the pivot table. I'll allow you to mess with that however you want. The key thing here, obviously you're going to look at transactions. You're going to research them in your research or even in your raw data potentially. I would suggest the research tab. It kind of keeps it together a little better. But you're going to make your comments, but what makes this work is this transaction number. So we're going to jump in it, and I hope you understand we just made a table. It's going to expand, so let me drag this out. Fill handle there. I'm going to introduce you to a formula. I'm going to add a tab called Audited and a question mark. I'm going to introduce you to a formula called Match. So equals match tab. It says it wants a lookup value. So I'm going to look up this value right here. Each individual line item, it's going to know that's what I want. Hit comma, and it says, let me drag this over. Lookup array. That's my daily audit tab. So I'm going to highlight this first one, Control Shift down arrow, or just highlight the whole selection. I want this whole thing so that it expands for me. So table 3, all transaction number, and then comma, and then the final argument is what kind of match. I want an exact match, and my match is done. And you see what happened here? 3, 2, 4, 5. If I come back over into my daily audit tab and I look at these numbers and go back to my raw data, I'm going to find that these numbers matched up with 2, 3, 4, and 5. That's what that match is going to tell you. It's going to find an exact match and return what row it found it in. So what this allows us to do is validate whether we've made comments or not. Okay, so I'm going to do one more thing because I don't like these errors. I'm going to say if error, and if it is an error, which means that it didn't find it, it did not find a match. So if error, I'm going to say not audited. Quote, close quotes, close parenthesis, hit enter, and there we go. So in my transactions tab, whenever I refresh my pivot table and then right click and show field list, what I'm going to see is audited. This wasn't there before. I'm going to drag that down into my filters. So now I'm going to unselect all this and I'm going to say I only want to see not audited, because that formula is going to return me the row number it found or not audited. That's the only options. So instead of seeing thousands of things, I just show me not audited. Hit OK, and we just saw that in our transactions thing, the one thing we'll look at every single day, they're going to disappear when you refresh. So again, copy these, Control C, come over to here, paste that in there. I'm going to go ahead and make some random comments and say they're all valid. You're going to expound more and do what you need to do. But when I come back in here, in the raw data, that formula is going to find 4 more transactions, come in the next morning, refresh, and they're gone. So as the year unfolds, you're going to know what has been, what hasn't been audited, and that's about it. That'll be it for this video. In the next video, I'm going to make a few more comments about just reiterating the daily procedures and how you may be able to, if you choose to use this, save copies of this to maybe conform to the AFI so that you have a daily register of daily audited transactions. See you then.